Chapter 23 The Yule Ball. Despite the very heavy load of homework that the 4th years had been given for the holidays, Harry was in no mood to work when the term ended, and spent the week leading up to Christmas enjoying himself as fully as possible along with everyone else. Gryffindor Tower was hardly less crowded now than during term time. It seemed to have shrunk slightly too, as its inhabitants were being so much rowdier than usual. Fred and George had great success with their canary creams, and for the first couple of days of the holidays, people kept bursting into feather all over the place. Before long, however, all the Gryffindors had learned to treat food anyone else offered them with extreme caution, in case it had canary cream concealed in the center. And George confided to Harry that he and Fred were now working on developing something else. Harry made a mental note never to accept so much as a kiss from Fred and George in the future. He had still forgotten Nellie and the tongue toppy. Snow was falling thickly upon the castle and its grounds now. The pale blue Bubbleton's carriage looked like a large, chilly, frosted pumpkin next to the icy gingerbread house that was Hagrid's cabin, while the Durmstrang ship's portholes were glazed with ice, the ridging white with frost. The house elves down in the kitchen were outdoing themselves with a series of rich, warming stews and savory puddings, and only 4 Delacours seemed to be able to find anything to complain about. "It's too heavy, is it, all with food?" they heard her saying grumpily as they left the great hall behind her one evening. Ron scrolling behind Harry, cleaning not the spot floor. I will not fit it on my dress. I can't speak. I will fit it on my dress. I will not fit into my dress clothes. Oh, there's a strategy. Hermione snapping as floor went into the entrance hall. She really thinks a lot of herself that way, doesn't she? Hermione, who are you going to the ball with? Said Ron. He kept bringing this question on her, hoping to startle her into a response by asking it when she least expected it. However, Hermione merely frowned and said, "I'm not telling you. You'll just make fun of me. You'll just make fun of me. You're joking, Weasley," said Malfoy behind him. "You're not telling me anyone asked that to the ball? Huh. Not the long, mullered mudblood." Harry and Ron both whipped around, but Hermione said loudly, waving with somebody over Malfoy's shoulder, "Hello, Professor Moody." Malfoy went pale and jumped backwards, looking widely around for Moody. But he was still up at the staff table, finishing stew. "Twitchly little fair, aren't you, Malfoy?" said Hermione casually, and she, Harry, and Ron went up to the marble staircase, laughing hysterically. "Hermione," said Ron, looking sideways at her, suddenly frowning, "your teeth." "What about them?" she said. "Well, they're different. I've just noticed." "Of course they are. What do you expect me to keep those fangs Malfoy gave me?" "No, I mean they're different to how they were before he put that hex on you. They're straight and moral size." Hermione suddenly smiled mischievously, and Harry noticed it too. It was a very different smile from the one he remembered. "Well, when I went to Madame Pomfrey to get them shrunk, she held up a mirror and told me It stopped her when they were back, so they looked how normally they were, she said. And I just let her carry on a bit. She smiled more widely. Mom and Dad won't be pleased. I've been trying to persuade them to let me shrink them for ages, but they wanted me to carry on with my braces. You know, they're dentists. They just don't think teeth and magic should. Look, Pigwin is back. Ron's tiny owl was twirling madly on the top of the icicle Latin banisters. The scroll parchment tied to his leg. People passing him were pointing and laughing, and a group of 30-year-old girls paused and said, "Ooh, look at that tweening owl. Isn't he cute?" Stupid little feathery git, Ron hissed, hurrying up the stairs and snatching up Pigwidgeon. "You bring letters to the address, and you don't hang around showing off." Pigwidgeon hooted happily, his head burrowing over Ron's fist. 30-year-old girls all looked very shocked. "Clear off!" Ron snapped at them, waving the fist holding Pigwidgeon, who hooted more happily than ever as he soared through the air. "Here, take it, Harry," Ron added in undertone as 30-year-old girls scuttled away looking scandalized. He pulled Sirius's reply off Pigwidgeon's leg. Harry pocketed it and hurried back to the Gryffindor Tower to read it. Everyone in the common was too busy and laying off more holiday steam to observe that what anyone else was up to. Ron, Harry, and Hermione sat apart from everyone else by a dark window that was gradually filling up with snow, and Harry read out. "I will apologize if my voice doesn't sound that well like Gary Oldman, but I will try for serious. Dear Harry, congratulations on getting past the Horntail. However, you put your name in the goblet. Oh, I need to fix that up. Okay. Dear Harry, congratulations on getting past the Horntail. Whoever put your name in the goblet shouldn't be feeling too happy right now. I was going to suggest a Cruciatus curse, as a dragon's eye are in the weakest point." "That's what Crumb did," Hermione whispered. "But your way was better. I'm impressed. Don't be compensate yet. Though, Harry, you've only done one task. However, put you in for the Charterman's got plenty more opportunity if they're trying to hurt you. Keep your eyes open, particularly when the person you disgust is around, and concentrate on keeping yourself out of trouble. Keep in touch. I still want to hear about anything unusual. Sirius." "He sounds like Moody," said Harry quietly, tucking away the letter inside his robes. "Constant vigilance. You'd think I'd walk around with my eyes shut, banging off the walls." "He's right, Harry," said Hermione. "You still got 2 tasks to do. You really ought to have a look at the egg, and start working on what it means." "Hermione, he's had ages," snapped Ron. "Want to play a game of chess, Harry?" "Yeah, okay," Harry said. Then saw a look on Hermione's face. He said, "Come on, how am I supposed to concentrate with all that noise going on? I won't be able to hear the egg over this lot." "Oh, I suppose not," she sighed. "I'm gonna try again." "Oh, I suppose," she sighed. And she sat down to watch the chessmate, which culminated in an exciting checkmate of Ron's involving a riskily brave pawns and a very violent bishop. It's very violent because it's not as violent as a regular priest. Harry awoke suddenly on Christmas Day, wondering what had caused his abrupt return of consciousness. He opened his eyes and saw something with a very large, brown, green eyes staring back at him in the darkness. So close, they, they were almost nose to nose. "Dobby!" Harry yelled, scrambling away from the elf so fast he almost fell dead. "Don't do that!" "Dobby is sorry, sir," squeaked Dobby, instantly jumping back toward his long fingers over his mouth. "Dobby is only wanting to wish Harry Potter a Merry Christmas and bring him a present, sir. Harry Potter did say Dobby could come and see him. Harry Potter did say Dobby could come over and see him sometime." "It's okay," said Harry, still breathing faster than usual. His heart rate returned to normal. Just prod me or something in the future. Alright? Don't bend over me like that. Harry pulled back the curtains around his four-poster bed, took his glasses from his bedside table, put them on. His yell had woken Ron, Seamus, Dean, and Neville. "Go, Trustee, go see your girl." All of them were peering through the gaps of their own hanging, heavy-eyed and tousled-haired. Is someone attacking you, Harry?" Seamus actually asked sleepily. "No, it's just Dobby," Harry murmured. "Go back to sleep." "Nah, presents," said Seamus, exploring the large pile on the foot of his bed. Ron, Dean, and Neville decided, and now they were awake, they might as well get down. Here's some present opening, too. Harry turned back to Dobby, who was now standing nervously next to Harry Potter's bed, still looking worried that he had upset Harry. There was a Christmas ball tied to the loop of his tie cozy. "Can Dobby give Harry Potter his present now?" Speechlessly. "Of course he can," Harry said. "I've got something for you too." It was a lie. He hadn't bought anything for Dobby at all, but he quickly opened his trunk and pulled out a particularly knobby, rolled-up pair of socks. They were as old as foul, mustard yellow, and had once belonged to Uncle Vernon. "You don't want that." The reason they were extra knobby was that Harry had been using them to cushion his sneakoscope for a year now. He pulled out the sneakoscope and handed the socks to Dobby, saying, "Sorry, I forgot to wrap them." But Dobby was utterly delighted. "Socks are Dobby's favorite clothes, sir," he said, ripping off his old ones and pulling on Vernon's. "I have 7 now, sir. But, sir," he said, his eyes widening, having pulled both socks on up their highest extent, so they reached the bottom of his shorts. They have made a mistake in the shop, Harry Potter. They is giving you two the same." "Ah, no. Harry, how come you didn't spot that?" Ron said, grinning from his own bed, which was sewn with wrapping paper. "Tell you what, Dobby, here you go. Take those two, and you can mix them together properly. And there's your sweater." He threw Dobby a pair of violet socks he just unwrapped, and the hand-knitted sweater Mrs. Weasley had sent. Dobby looked quite overwhelmed. "Sir, it's very kind," he squeaked, his eyes brimming with tears again, bowing deeply to Ron. "Dobby knew Sir must be a great wizard, for he is Harry Potter's greatest friend, and Dobby did not know he was also generous as spirit, as noble, as selfless." "They're only socks," said Ron, who had slightly pink around his ears, though he looked rather pleased all the same. Wow, Harry. He had just opened one of Harry's presents, a Charlie Cannon hat. Cool. He jammed it on his head, where it clashed horribly with his hair. Dobby had handed Harry a small package, and it turned out to be socks.
Dobby is making them himself, sir. He is buying the wool out of his wages, sir.
The left sock was bright red, and had a pattern of a broomstick upon it. The right sock was green with a pattern of snitches on it. Well, Dobby, said Harry, and pulled them on, causing Dobby's eyes to leak with happiness again.
Dobby must go now, sir. We is already making Christmas dinner in the kitchen,
said Dobby, and he hurried out the dormitory, waving goodbye to Ron and the others as he passed. Harry's other presents were much more satisfactory than Dobby's old socks. There were obviously exceptions of the Dursleys, which consisted of a single tissue and an all-time low. Harry supposed the two were remembering the Tongue Toffee. Hermione had given Harry a book called Quidditch Teams of Britain and Ireland. Ron, a bulging bag of dung bombs. Sirius, a candy tank knife with attachments to unlock any lock do any knock, and Hagrid a vast box of sweets including Harry's favorites. 30 boxes every flavor: beans, chocolate frogs, Gurgle's best blowing gum, and Fizzy Wizzies. There was also, of course, Mrs. Weasley's usual factors, including a new sweater, green with a picture of a dragon on it. Harry supposed Charlie told her about the horntail and the very quantity of Hogsmeade homemade mince pies. Harry and Ron met up with Hermione in the common room, and they went down to breakfast together. They spent most of the morning in the Gryffindor Tower, where everyone was enjoying their presents. They returned to the Great Hall with a magnificent lunch, which included at least 100 turkeys and Christmas puddings, and a large pile of cribbage wizarding crackers. They went on to the grounds in the afternoons. The snow was untouched except for the deep channels made by the Durmstrang and Beauxbaton students on their way to the castle. Hermione chose to watch Harry and the Weasley snowball fight rather than join them. And at 5 o'clock, they were going upstairs to get ready for the ball. Wait, you need 3 hours? Said Ron, looking at her incredulously, in pain for his large connection with a large snowball thrown at George. Thrown by George, hitting him hard on the side of his head. Who are you going with? He yelled at Hermione. Who are you going with? He yelled after Hermione, but she just waved and disappeared up the stone steps into the castle. There was no Christmas tea today, as the ball included a feast, so at 7 o'clock it had become hard to aim properly. The orcharders abandoned. Aim properly. The others abandoned the snowball fight and trooped back to the common room. The fat lady was sitting in her frame with her friends Violet from downstairs. Both of them extremely tipsy, empty boxes of chocolate liquors littering the bottom of her pitcher. Larry sighed. That's the one. She giggled and gave them the password and swung forward and let them inside. Harry, Ron, Seamus, Dean, and Neville changed into their dress robes in their dormitory, all of them looking very self-conscious, but not as much as Ron, who surveyed himself in the long mirror in the cupboard with an appalled look on his face. There was just no getting around the fact that his robes looked more like a dress than anything else, and a desperate attempt to them make them look more manly, he used a severing charge to rough off the cuffs. It worked fairly well. At least he was now lace free, although he hadn't done a real good job, and the edges still looked undressing like frayed as the boys set off downstairs. I still can't work out how you two got the best looking girls in the year, muttered Dean. Animal magnetism, Ron said, gloomy, putting stray threads on his cuffs. The common room looked strange, full of people wearing different colors instead of the usual mass of black. Parvati was waiting for Harry at the foot of the stairs. She looked very pretty indeed, in robes of shocking pink, with her looking dark, with her long, dark, plain braid with gold and gold bracelet glimmering at her wrist. Harry was relieved to see she wasn't giggling. You look nice, he said awkwardly. Thank you, she said. Padma's gonna see you in the entrance hall, she added to Ron. Right, Ron said, looking around. Well, where's Hermione? Parvati shrugged. Shall we go then, Harry? Okay. Wishing he could just stay in the common room. Fred winked at Harry as he passed on the way out of the portrait hall. The entrance hall was packed with students, too, all milling around waiting for 8 o'clock, when the doors of the great hall would be thrown open. Those people, who were meeting partners from different houses, were edging through the crowd trying to find one another. Parvati found her sister, Padma, who led her to Harry and Ron. Hi, said Padma, who was looking as pretty as Parvati in robes bright turquoise. She didn't look so aesthetic about having Ron as a partner, though. Her dark eyes lingered on the gray neck and sleeves of his dress robes as she looked them up and down. Hi, said Ron, not looking at her, but staring around the crowd. Oh no. He bent his knees slightly to hide behind Harry because Fleur Delacour was passing, looking stunning in robes of silver gray satine and accompanied by the Ravenclaw Quidditch captain, Roger Davis. When they disappeared, Ron stood straight up again and stared over the heads of the crowd. Where's Hermione? He said again. The group of Slytherins came up the steps from their dungeon common room. Malfoy was in front. He was wearing dress robes of black velvet with a high collar, in which Harry's opinion made him look like a visor. Pansy Parkinson in very frilly robes of pale pink and clutching on Malfoy's arm. Crabbe and Goyle were both wearing green that resembled moss-colored boulders, and neither of them, Harry was pleased to see, managed to find a partner. That's how I feel. The oak front door opened, and everyone turned to look as Durmstrang students entered with Professor Karkaroff. Crumb was at the front of the party, accomplished by a pretty girl in blue robes. Harry didn't know. Over their heads he saw an area of lawn, right in front of the castle, had been transformed into some sort of grotto full of fairy lights, meaning hundreds of actual living fairies were sitting in the rose bushes, had been conjured there, and fluttering over the statue that seemed to be Father Christmas and his reindeer. Mr. McGonagall's voice called, Champions, over here! Parvati readjusted her bangles, beaming. She and Harry said, See you in a minute to Ron and Padma, and walked forward. The chattering crowd parted to let them through. Professor McGonagall, who was wearing dress robes of red tartan, had arranged rather ugly wreath of tassels around the brim of her hat, told them to wait on the side of the doors while everyone else went inside. They went to enter the great hall in precision when the rest of the students had sat down. Flor del Cor and Roger Davis stationed themselves nearest the doors. Davis looked so stunned in his good fortune in having Fleur as for a partner, I could hardly take his eyes off her. Cedric and Cho were close to Harry too. He looked away from them so he wouldn't have to talk to them. His eyes fell and set on the girl next to the crowd. His jaw dropped. It was Hermione. But she didn't look like Hermione at all. She had done something with her hair. It was no longer bushy, but sleek and shiny, and twisted up in an elegant knot at the back of her head. She was wearing dress robes made of fluffy, periwinkle blue material, and she was holding herself differently somehow. Or maybe it was merely the absence of 20 or so books she had slung over her back. She was also smiling, rather nervously, it was true, but the reduction in size of her front teeth was more noticeable than ever. Harry couldn't understand how he didn't spot it before. "Hi, Harry," said "Hi, Parvati." Parvati was gazing at Harry in unflattering disbelief. She wasn't the only one either. When the doors of the great hall opened, Crumb's fan club in the library stalked past, throwing Hermione looks in deep loathing. Pansy Parson grasped at her as she walked by with Malfoy, and even he didn't seem able to find insult to throw at her. Ron, however, walked right past Hermione without even looking at her. Once everyone else was settled in the hall, Professor McGonagall told the champion and their partners to get in a line in pairs to follow her. They did so, and everyone in the great hall applauded as they entered and started walking up toward a large round table at the top of the hall where the judges were sitting. The walls of the hall had all been covered with sparkling silver frost, with hundreds of garlands of mistletoe and ivy crossing the starry black ceiling. The house tables had vanished. Instead, there were about 100 smaller, lantern-lit ones, each seating about a dozen people. Harry concentrated on not tripping over his feet. Parvati seemed to be enjoying herself. She was beaming around at everyone, staring at Harry so forcefully that he felt as though he were a show dog she was putting through its paces. He caught sight of Ron and Padma as he neared the top of the table. Ron was watching Hermione pass with narrow eyes. Padma was looking sulky. Dumbledore smiled happily as the champions approached the top table, but Karkaroff wore an expression remarkable like Ron's as he watched Ron and Hermione draw near. Udo Bagman, tonight in robes and a breech of bright purple with large yellow stars, was clapping with enthusiasm as many of the students and Madame Maskey had changed their usual uniform of black sateen for a flowing ground of lavender silk. Was appealing them politely. But Mr. Crouch, Harry suddenly realized, was not there. The fifth seat on the table was occupied by Percy Weasley. Dun dun dun! When the champions and their partners reached the table, Percy drew out an empty every side of them, staring But pointed at Harry. Harry took the hint and sat down next to Percy, who was wearing a brand new navy blue dress rose and an expression of such smugness that Harry thought it be fine. "I've been promoted," Percy said before Harry could even ask. In his tone, he might have been announcing his election as supreme ruler of the universe. "I know Mr. Crouch's personal assistant, and I'm here representing him." "Why didn't he come?" Harry asked. He wasn't looking forward to being lectured on cauldron buttons all through dinner. "I'm afraid to say Mr. Crouch isn't well, not at all. Hasn't been right since the World Cup. Hardly surprising. Overworked. He's not as young as he was. Though, still quite brilliant, of course. The mind remains as great as it ever was. But the World Cup was a fiasco, and the whole ministry, and then Mr. Crouch suffered a huge personal shock of the misbehavior of that House of Pez, Blinky, or whatever she was called. Naturally, he dismissed Sir immediately afterward. But, well, as I say, he's getting on. He needs looking after. I think he's found a definite drop in his home comfort since she left. And then he had the tournament to arrange. In the aftermath of the cup, to deal with the revolting secret woman buzzing around. No, poor man, he's having a well-earned quiet Christmas. I'm just glad he knew he had someone he could rely on to take his place. Harry wanted very much to ask whether Mr. Crouch had stopped calling Percy Weatherby yet, but resisted the temptation. There was no food as yet, the glittering golden plates, but the small menu was lying in front of each of them. Harry picked his up uncertainly and looked around. There were no waiters. Dumbledore, however, looked carefully down on his menu, then said very clearly to his plate, "Pork chops," and the pork chops appeared. Getting the idea, the rest of the table placed their orders with their plates too. Harry glanced up at Hermione to see how she felt about this new complicated method of dining. Surely it meant plenty of extra work for the house. But for once, Hermione didn't seem to be thinking about spew. She was deep in talk with Victor Crumb, and hardly seemed to notice what she was eating. It was now occurred to Harry that he never actually heard Crumb speak before. But he was certainly talking now, and very enthusiastically well. "Well, we have castle also, but not as big as this, not as comfortable, I think," he was telling Hermione. "We have four floors, and the fires are lit only by magical purposes, but we've had grounds larger than these. Though in winter we very little daylight, so we not enjoying them. But in summer we are flying every day over lakes and mountains." "Now, now, Victor," said Karkaroff with a laugh that didn't reach his cold eyes. Don't go giving away anything else now. Our charming friend will know exactly where to find us." Dumbledore smiled, his eyes twinkling. "Igor, all is secrecy. No one almost thinks you don't want visitors." "Well, Dumbledore," said Karkaroff, displaying his yelling teeth to their full extent, "we are not protective in our own private domain, are we not? But we are nor jealous God of the halls of learning that we have entrusted to us. Are we not right to be proud that we alone know our school secrets and right to protect them? Oh, I would never dream of assuming I know all of Hogwarts' secrets, Igor, said Dumbledore obstinately. Only this morning, for instance, I took a wrong turn on the way to the bathroom and found myself in a pre-portioned room I have never seen before, containing a really rather magnificent collection of chamber posts. When I went back to investigate more closely, I discovered the room had vanished, but I must keep an eye for it. Eye for it? Possibly it is only accessible at 5:30 in the morning, or it may only appear at quarter moon, or when the seeker hasn't accepted for its latter. Harry snorted into his plate goulash. Harry frowned. Percy frowned, but Harry had sworn Dumbledore had given him a small wink. Okay, that's creepy. Unless he wants to go in for a wink. You hear that? I'm just roughing the pages. Okay, we're good. Meanwhile, Flora was criticizing the Hogwarts decorations to Roger Davis. It is nothing, she said, dismayed, looking around at the sparkling walls of the Hogwarts Great Hall. At the place of Beauxbatons, we have vice sculptures all around the dining chamber and Christmas. They know not, of course, they like to urge statues of diamonds flickering around the place, and the food is simply superb, and we have choirs of woodnymphs also serenade us as we ate. We have none of this ugly armor and this brief poltergeist ever entered into Beauxbatons. Here we be expelled like that. She slapped hand onto the table impatiently. Roger Davis was watching her talk with a very big look on his face. He kept missing his mouth with that fork. Harry had the impression that Davis was too busy looking at the floor to take in a word she was saying. Absolutely right, he said quickly, slapping his own hand table in imitation of her. Like that, yeah. Harry looked around the hall. Hagrid was sitting on one of the other staff tables. He was back in a horrible hairy brown suit, and gazing up at the table, Harry saw him give a small wave, and looking around, saw Madame Maxey return it, her apples glittering in the candlelight. Hermione was teaching her how to say her name properly. She kept calling her Hermione. Oh, nice joke. I like to say it. Hermione, she said slowly. Her Oni. Close enough, she said, catching Harry's eyes grinning. When all the food had been consumed, Dumbledore stood up and asked the students to do the same. Then, with a wave of his wand, the table zoomed back along the walls, leaving the floor clean, and then conjured a raised platform into existence along the right wall. A set of drums, several guitars, a lute, a cello, and some bagpipes were set upon it. The Weird Sisters now... Ooh, they got the Weird Sisters! It's Ooh, that's really cool. They got the weird sisters to appear in Hogwarts. That's pretty cool. We're not gonna take it. I'm definitely putting it in now. Now trooped onto the stage. So wildly enthusiastic, with enthusiastic applause. They were all extremely hairy and dressed in black robes that had artfully ripped and torn. They picked up their instruments, and Harry, who had been interested in watching them that he had almost forgotten what was coming, suddenly realized that the lanterns were all on their tables had gone out, and the air champions and their partners standing up. "Come on!" Parvati hissed. "We're going to dance!" Harry tripped over his dress rose and stood up. The weird sisters struck a slow, mournful tone. Harry walked onto the brightly lit dance floor, carefully avoiding catching anyone's eyes. He could see Seamus and Dean waving at him and sniggering. Next moment, Parvati had seized his hands and placed one around her waist, and was holding her other tightly in hers. It wasn't as bad as it could have been, Harry thought, bowling slowly upon the spot. Parvati was staring. He kept his eyes fixed over the head and watching people. Very soon, many of them had come onto the dance floor, so the champions were no longer in the center of attention. Neville and Ginny were dancing nearby. You could see Ginny wincing frequently, and Neville trod on her feet. Okay, that's proof that Harry and Ginny get together. Make it happen, Harry. You should have asked her anyway. Well, you snooze, you lose. Dumbledore was waltzing with Madame Maxime, who was dwarfed by. He was so dwarfed by the top of his pointed hat, barely tickled her chin. However, he moved very gently for the large woman. Madame Moody was doing an extremely uncanny two-step with Professor Sinistra, who was nervously avoiding his wooden leg. "Nice socks, Moody. Potter," Moody growled as he passed, his magical eyes staring through Harry's robes. "Oh yeah, Dobby the house elf made them for me," said Harry. "He's so creepy," Ray whispered as Moody chuckled away. "I wouldn't think that I should be allowed." Harry heard the final quavering note from the bagpipe. With relief, the weird sisters stopped playing, and applause filled the hall once more, and Harry let go for Batty for once. "Let's sit down, shall we?" "Oh, but this is a really good one," says the weird sister, stuck up her new song, much faster. "'Cause we're not gonna take it. No, we're not gonna take it. We're not gonna take it." "No, I don't like it," Harry lied, led her away from the dance floor past friend Angela, who were dancing so ungenerally, but that the people around them were backing away, fear of injury, and over the table were Ron and Padma sitting. "How's it going?" Harry asked Ron, sitting down and opening a bottle of butterbeer. Ron didn't answer. He was glaring at Hermione and Crumb, who were dancing nearby. Padma was sitting with her arms and legs crossed, one foot jiggling to the time of the music. Every now and then, she threw a disgruntled look at Ron, who was completely ignoring her. Parvati sat next to Harry's other side, crossed her arms and legs too, and within minutes was asked to dance by the boy from Beauxbatons. "Wait, what? How is there a boy from Beauxbatons? That doesn't work. It's a female school." "You don't mind, do you, Harry?" "But what?" He was not watching Cedric and Joe. "Oh, never mind." Snap went off with the boy from Beauxbatons. When the song ended, she did not return. Hermione came and sat down in Parvati's empty chair. She was a bit pink in her face from dancing. "Hi," said Harry. Ron didn't say anything. "Isn't it? It's hot, isn't it?" said Hermione, fanning herself with her hand. "Victor's just gone to get some drinks." Ron gave her a withering look. Victor? He said, hasn't he asked you to call him Vicky yet? Hermione looked at him with surprise. What's up with you? She said. If you don't know, said Ron casually, I'm not going to tell you. Hermione stared at him, then at Harry, who shrugged. Ron, what? He's from Durmstrang, Ron spat. He's competing against Harry, against Hogwarts, and you're... Ron was obviously casting around for words strong enough to describe Hermione's crime. Fraternizing with the enemy. That's what you're doing. Hermione's mouth fell open. Don't be stupid. You said it after a moment. The enemy? Honestly. Who was the one who was all excited when they saw him arrive? Who was the one who wanted his autograph? Who's got a model of him in his dormitory? Ron chose to ignore this. I suppose he asked you to come with him when you were both in the library. Yes, he did, said Hermione, being patched on her cheeks glowing more brightly. So what? What happened to trying to get him to join Spew? Were you? No, I wasn't. If you really want to know, he said he'd been coming up to the library every day to try to talk to me, but he hadn't been able to pluck up the courage. Hermione said this very quickly and blushed deeply, as she was the same color as Barbe's robe. Yeah, Will. That's his story, Ron said nasty. And what's that supposed to mean? Obviously, he's Karkaroff's student, isn't he? He knows you hang around with. He's just trying to get closer to Harry. Get inside information for him. Or get enough to jinx him. Hermione looked as though Ron had slapped her. She spoke, her voice quivered. For your information, doesn't ask me on one single thing about Harry, but not one. Ron changed tack and the speed of light. Then he's hoping you'll help him find out what the egg means. I suppose you've been putting your heads together during those cozy little library sessions. I never help him look on that egg, said Hermione, looking outraged. Never. You would say that something like that. I want Harry to win this tournament. Harry knows that, don't you, Harry? You've got a funny way of showing it. The whole tournament's supposed to be about getting to know foreign wizards and making friends with them, said Hermione hotly. No, it isn't, said Ron. It's about winning. People were starting to stare at him. Ron, said Harry quickly, I haven't got a problem with Hermione coming with Crumb. But Ron ignored Harry too. Why don't you go find Vicky? He'll be wondering where you are, said Ron. Don't call him Vicky. Hermione jumped to her feet and stormed out across the dance floor, disappeared into the crowd. Ron watched her go with a mixture of anger and satisfaction on his face. Aren't you going to ask me to dance at all? Padma asked him. No, Hermione said so, glaring at Hermione. Fine, snapped Padma. He got up and went to join Parvati and the Beauxbatons boys. He conjured up his friends to join them so fast that Harry could have sworn he zoomed and thereby summoned charge. That is Hermione, said a voice. Ron had just arrived at their table, clutching 2 butterbeers. No idea, Ron said uneasily, looking up at him. Lost her, have you? Crumb was looking sure again. Well, if you see her, tell her I have drinks, he said. In short shot. That's it because the rest of the chapter mainly has to deal with Rita Skeeter's scoop and about more stuff that I'm more uncomfortable about. I'm just going to stop at the dance. Remember, we're not going to take it, and I'm going to tease as well. Listen to the music. At this 3-minute, approximately 50-minute stop, so bye.